Well, hi, everybody. It's JB again here, and I'm getting ready to do a little walkthrough of the next series of my Did You Ever Wonder local history videos. This one is called Did You Ever Wonder About Those Little Postage Stamp Buildings Around Town? And this opening slide, my title slide, shows the Dark Star Visuals building down on North Block, right next to the Four Seasons Cleaner, just down from Table of Nails. And there's several of these buildings exactly like that. I think there's four of them along there. They're very much like this. And I got this idea from my friend Annie Dowling, who turned me on to these little postage stamp buildings. First one let's talk about is on West Mountain Street. It's no longer Rags. I think it's JS or something when I took this picture. But this is this little store is directly across the street from the McNair home where Sophia Sawyer's school used to be. This would be on the northwest corner of Locust and West Mountain, running parallel to it. Anyway, this little guy was opened in 1933 as a Gulf service station. Notice the cool little mechanics bay over here, really small cars to get in there. In the 50s, it was a Skelly service station, and you probably remember it as a radiator shop for many years. And over the last years, there's been a lot of different buildings there. That's one of the cute little postage stamp buildings here in town, and it's still here. It's got a new business in there now. Okay, 204 North Block. This is down from Dark Star Visuals, more towards Dixon Street. It's actually right. It's actually the corner of Meadow, Spring in North Block, and this is the Curious Bookshop, near Spring in North Block. This little building was built around 1907, 1908, but there's no city directory listing for it until 1947. And during that stretch, there was a lot of businesses, insurance company, household appliances, stuff like that. And its last incarnation was the Curious Bookshop. Unfortunately, this little guy is no more. They have torn it down and started building some big thing there. It's too bad it couldn't have been moved somewhere, but anyway, we got a record of it here, and we know what it looked like, and we remember it, but it's gone now. The next one I want to do is down on West Avenue. It's a Dirt Bags now as a sign in front of it, 352 Northwest Avenue. When I took this picture some years back, it was May's Emporium. And the red brick building to the right is the University of Arkansas building. Now, a lot of you old timers remember that used to be the garment factory. My mom worked at that garment factory for a stretch. It dates to 1927. And when I was a kid here in the early 50s, I think it was in the 30s through the 50s, it was Mr. Deaver's grocery store. Mr. Deaver's was a super nice man. And this is a day when they would deliver food to your home. You could call in and order stuff, and Mr. Deaver's or somebody would bring it out to your house. And he was such a nice man. And I remember our family, sometimes if you were there and ordered, he would actually take you home with your groceries. Those days are long gone, aren't they, Fayetteville? Anyway, it's been a number of businesses in there since then, bicycle shop, et cetera. This is kind of across the street, facing over the other direction, one of the northwest ice house that was up here. The next one I'm going to do is at 348 West South Street. This is at the southeast corner of South and South School. And this little building was, at least according to the Sanborn Fire Insurance maps, it was here by 1908. Because unfortunately, since the library is closed, I can't get in there to check. I don't have a listing of what may have been in this little building over the years. And I don't have access to the city directors, which I depend on very much for identifying what used to be in places. Anyway, unfortunately, there you go again, another little bit. I realize it's not the prettiest thing ever happened, but now it's gone too, been replaced by, I can't tell whether it's 2 or 3 gigantic either apartment buildings or big condo buildings that are gone up there. And you'll forgive me. I'm not a fan of the progress being done in town right now. You can tell I'm not going to pretend to hide it from you. I prefer the old stuff to the new. It's just my nature. Okay, so that's the little house there on the school and south. And this one's real near that Dark Star Visuals and all those right there on Meadow. It's to the west of Block Street on West Meadow, 110 West Meadow. Right now it's the Boho Gypsy, and it's a cool little building there. And the first time I could find that building on the Sanborn Fire Insurance maps was 1930, and it was not there in 1919. So I think pretty obviously it was built in the 1920s. Anyway, so and the last little building I want to show, and this is one of those cool. I love this kind of thing. This is in back of the old Washington County Courthouse, the historic courthouse, and the Guard Armory. When the Guard Armory was built in 1929, this building was turned into a boiler room. And what that building is, that's the 1885 Fayetteville City Jail. It is positively medieval looking. And I took this picture back when you could still get in there. They boarded up now. And you would definitely not want to have been thrown in jail there. One of the cool things about this is that the I think it was 1883 to 1886 or 7 city ordinance books, the record of the city council meetings. I think it was when they were tearing down the McElroy Bank on the north side of the square. They found that book. It's in special collections now. So I got to go in there and I read every single description of the building of this jail in 1885. They kept calling it a calaboose and apparently had a wooden fence around it at some time. But anyway, if you're up in there sometime, this is in back of the old Washington, there's a little alley there. Walk back in there and take a look at this baby. It's still there, and I just find it so incredible it's still there after all this time. Anyway, so that's just a real quick little walk through here. And I think actually, depends on how this goes. I may just go ahead and instead of being a walk through, I'm just going to go ahead and use this when you guys don't mind. You're used to me being about as informal as a human can be in terms of making videos. So anyway, so that was my little thing. I want to mention here, though, that my friend Charlie Allison, a local historian, author, and University of Arkansas historian, also found a couple other buildings around town, these little postage stamp buildings. So when you're out and about, check them out and see if you can find any more postage stamp buildings to tell me about. Anyway, that's good for this little guy, I think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.